them.
So not
And
necessarily
then, I thought the people were just...
Okay, we're
I
live.
advertise. Chime in and ask us questions.
Yeah,
We
so
are.
we'll look on here.
Okay. So
Too.
you can... Okay.
Will that be feedback?
All right, here we go, guys.
Oh, gosh.
Are we live?
Spring it on us.
Okay, so let us first introduce who we are. I am Emily Stark.
I'm trying to watch here, too.
We're trying to get it all together, but we're super excited to have you with us. I am Emily Stark. I am the director of the Mrs. Colorado and Wyoming pageant, and I'm also a former Mrs. Colorado 2002. And so today I asked 3 of my former queens. There's 2 of them here right now. The other one is running late because of traffic. So I have Christina Sasha, who is Mrs. Colorado 2008. And
A decade.
Nope.
It's been a decade. Have I mentioned that? It's been a decade.
A decade is nothing
Feels like
at
it
this
was
time of
yesterday.
age. Exactly.
Seems like yesterday. My waistline doesn't say so. But...
And she is actually my first queen that I adopted in the process.
I love that. Yep.
And then I have Shalon Polson, who is Mrs. Colorado 2010. So we're just going to I'm going to ask them questions. We're going to kind of go with the basic pieces so to kind of familiarize yourself with the Mrs. pageant. And we're going to start off with a few things, just housekeeping things. Today, when one of the ladies says something that you can totally relate to, I want you to put the 2 little hands up on the screen in the comment section.
Thanks.
Yep, so put the hands so that when you...
Is that us we're doing?
No. We're going to.
I'm like, are we supposed to be doing jazz hands?
Jazz hands.
Okay.
So when Christina, myself, or Shalon say something that you can relate to, put in the comments your little hands up. And then comment away. We'll watch for questions and different things. And
Let us know if you can hear us. We need to know that right away.
Because if you can't hear us, we're already starting off on a bad foot here.
Yeah, we want to make sure.
Hey, Miss Alexis, can you hear us?
Thumbs up.
Thumbs up.
Thumbs up.
She
or
walked
down.
out of the room.
She's like, I'm out. I'm out.
I'm out.
And there's Shauna. I saw Jamie on there. Jamie Klein was on there, I think.
Hi, Shauna. How are you?
Excuse me. I'm
Karen
sorry.
DeLeo, can you hear us?
All right.
Yeah.
We're going to wing it and pretend that you can, is what we're going to do. And I think we're just going to start with...
Oh, she gave a thumbs up.
Oh,
good.
sweet.
Yes,
Thanks,
thank
Shauna.
you.
Okay. So first, I'm just going to start with Christina. What initially made you sign up to participate? What triggered that?
Well, my daughter was very young at the time. I guess she was only about 5 or 6 months old. This was my first child, and I was nursing and strictly nursing. Like, she wouldn't take a bottle, and I was a stay-at-home mom, and I pretty much walked around unshowered and with the baby attached to me 24 hours a day. Anybody can relate? You know, you find yourself, even though you embrace that and you love it, and it's such an amazing part of, amazing time in your life, you kind of walk past the mirror. This is what I did, and I would kind of glanced and was like, oh, who's that woman, that scraggly person in the mirror? And I found myself just lost. I just kind of felt very overwhelmed and swallowed up by motherhood, which again I embraced, but I was like, wow, I feel like I need to shake this and do something to kind of get my spirit back for just me. And I started clicking around online and came across the Mrs. Colorado website and just kept reading, and I found myself just completely so interested in all of the wonderful things that they had done and the title holders and what they had done. And before you knew it, I signed up, and pageant weekend I was stepping out to breastfeed my daughter, but I did it and I loved it, and I'm glad I did, and I definitely was able to find myself again and get my old self back again. So that's what initially made me jump in.
So all I have to say, that's pretty much a very similar reason why I signed up. Is my twins were 7 months old. I ate a sheet cake, 3 pancakes, and a watermelon a day. So you can say I did not have the same body pre-baby, post-baby.
Can relate. Yeah.
And the idea of getting showered and doing all these things, being a mom and a wife and a caretaker for the little ones, I just needed to put myself back on the to-do list. And so I did the same thing when the girls were 7 months old. I went, all right, a reason to take a shower. I'm in.
Right?
Yeah.
Same thing.
All right, Miss Shalon, what motivated you?
Well, it was a chance for me to revisit a dream that I had when I was a teen. I was Miss Colorado teen, and I got pregnant. not long after going and competing at Miss Teen USA, and my dream had to die because my next dream would have been Miss Colorado, and you can't compete in the Miss pageant as a married woman or having had children. So it was my chance to go back, and it was nice that God was giving me that dream back, at least to go back and compete. And you know, of course, it was awesome to get motivated and get in the swimsuit and feel good about myself and and who doesn't want to wear a beautiful gown and all of that. That was all just bonus, but it was a gift that God gave me.
All right, so we are going to tangent for a second. So, ladies, we know the Miss America pageant has eliminated swimsuit. Do you think it's still valuable in a pageant?
100% valuable.
Well, I do, and if anybody who follows my page knows that I made quite a very extensive post about this. I was actually asked by a couple of pageantry blogs and such to give my take on it, and I took a lot of time writing about it, and it was something I was very passionate about, my opinion. I think it's absolutely ludicrous to take out the swimsuit competition. I personally have been in the pageant industry either competing, directing, judging, coaching in some aspects of the industry for 40 years now, which means I started when I was
2
months old.
Oh, sorry, I aged you.
No, I know. I know. Let's just say I was a lot older. Let's just say I was older. But yes, I've been in the industry for 40 years. And, you know, with that said, I know the sport itself, that is really what, I mean, for me, I feel like pageantry is about really celebrating your individuality and celebrating confidence and celebrating comfortable in your own skin and celebrating who you are. And swimsuit competition, to me, is just showing up with the equipment to show everything that you're feeling on the inside. You know, when I said in my article that I wrote, would you show up to a soccer game in ice skates? No, you wouldn't. You show up with the right gear, prepared, ready to win. And the swimsuit competition for me is part of that. And it is a pageant. I don't care how you sugarcoat it. It's been a pageant since way before 40 years ago. And, you know, and even though it has definitely expanded and it has grown so much as an industry, and it's about education and it's about community service and it's about, you know, empowerment of women, it is all those things, but is it also still about beauty as well? And I don't care if you're a size 2 or if you're a size 14, it's about being healthy, feeling confident, and going out and showing the world that what you feel on the inside is showing on the outside. So I feel very passionate about that.
And it shows you have discipline.
Absolutely.
It does.
It's important.
And I will take everybody off the hook here. So the Mrs. Colorado and Wyoming pageant, we compete in a one-piece swimsuit, super conservative, and we wear a sarong that goes from your waist all the way down to your calf. So you're pretty much covered up just in fabric, but you're in a swimsuit. And so I think that's a big thing, is people assume that it's a very small swimsuit or different things. We wear a one-piece swimsuit, which is nice because we've had children in gravity that...
Dang it.
And I tell you, those swimsuits cover more than some of the cocktail dresses I see some of these women, women wear, right? So yeah, it covers a lot. So
and you don't even have to take the sarong off.
Yep.
Right.
That's another beautiful
That's an
piece. You
option.
can keep the sarong on during the entire competition, so that's kind of fun. It's a personal choice, but it does show dedication. And I'm pretty sure the judges, and I know Christina has judged the pageant before, is that they're looking for self-confidence. They're looking for just what you're bringing to the table, that you walk down the stage confidently in your own skin. And I can tell you that when I was competing, I worked so hard to get my calf muscle to show that I wanted to show it after all those mornings in the gym.
Explains those poses at the end.
Yes, and at the end, I just wanted to turn around and go, look at my calves, I worked so hard. It's the only place you
You're on
can
your
see a
tippy
muscle.
toes the whole
Yes,
time.
yes, yes. All right.
So you took the sarong off. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, right.
Yes. I just brought it up. You see my calves?
Hi,
All right.
Tiaja. I see you.
Okay, so if you guys can post what city are you watching us from. So in the comments, if you can post if you're in Lone Tree, if you're in Fort Collins, if you're in Texas, Miss Tracy, wherever you are watching from, if you can post it in the comments, we would love to see where everyone is watching from. I think the next thing I want to ask you ladies.
Fresh, Colorado. Ooh, cool.
Oh, we love it. What is one unexpected gift that you have received from participating in the Mrs. Pageant? I'm going to start with you.
this is so precious. An unexpected gift for me is that I got to be participate. I got to participate in the production of the pageant at the years after I competed, and I got to meet Emily's beautiful family. I got to meet probably the funniest person on the planet, Tor Kalugo. Is that how you say her name? Tor
Kalolu.
Okay.
Yeah, it's my sister.
It's
It's my baby sister.
She's always my roommate pageant weekend, and I'm telling you, we roll in the next morning just really tired because we've laughed all night
She's
long.
your spirit animal.
She is
She's your spirit
so,
animal.
she's just precious. She's hilarious.
Quick-witted.
Yeah.
Quick-witted.
And I like to think that I'm really funny, but I'm nothing like
Nothing
her.
compared to her.
Nothing. She's
You
precious.
don't hold a
Yeah.
candle to
Yeah.
how quick she
You're
is.
the sidekick.
Yes, I am.
Yeah.
I'm the one
Sidekick
just
is good.
yucking it up the
Yucking
whole
it
time.
up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, speaking of yucking it up, there she is. Hello. We have a new sister with us.
Yay! Who are getting ready to go to the Avalanche game. So one thing I have to tell you, and we'll come back to our questions, is that every single one of the queens and every one of the participants are so uniquely different. Their interests, their hobbies, what they enjoy doing. And last year, my queen Valerie, who will hop in here in a second, is a die-hard sports fan. And so you find those qualities. And so come on in. So if you don't know Valerie, she is Mrs. Colorado 2017.
Yay!
But it's fun.
She's only a year out.
Yeah,
She's saying,
yeah.
I'm a decade. I'm a decade out.
I'm a
Okay.
former. I'm a former.
Has been.
I'm a has-been. Yes.
So she's getting ready to go to the game tonight. So yay, go Colorado.
Go
Avs. So we're talking about what is one kind of unexpected gift that you have received from participating in the pageant.
What is an unexpected gift? My first thing that comes to my mind is the friendships that I made, but that's why I entered the pageant. So it's, I think the level of friendship that I've created with people. I did the pageant. I was watching your guys' video on the way over here. You look great. You look great. Yeah, I was like,
Is the lighting good? 'Cause
no,
I-
lighting's good.
I cut my own bangs this morning,
Yeah.
You look
DJ.
so good. I saw you
tell
sitting
her.
here. I'm like, how am I gonna fit on this couch? But okay,
We're sucking it in.
I know. I'm like, voice that.
We look so much
Well,
thinner when we're all
I didn't
together.
get to, I didn't get to adjust. So I started the pageant. I did the pageant because I wanted to make friends. And so I think the unexpected level was just how deep those friendships go for me. That's been the best part of it all.
And I think those friendships, I think people kind of assume that pageants are catty and surface level. And until you participate, you don't really realize the depth of these friendships, that when somebody dies, that they all rally around you. When you need something, or your marriage is shaky, or there's something with your child that's going on, these women rally like nobody's business to make sure that you're whole. So what happens is they start doing life together, and you make those friendships when you go to Mrs. America. That you pick up some of the most incredible people in different states, and you do life with them. They don't go away.
And that's one of the coolest things about Val, your experience at Mrs. America.
It's like herpes.
Yeah.
What?
It's not like that. It's not like that. We're live, Emily. Now she's the comedian.
I'm having her bring up her friendships from Mrs. America. They're just amazing.
Oh yeah,
These girls.
You really met some really great ladies, and you guys still are tight. That's awesome.
Yeah, we're the best of friends. We talk every single day, and I could not imagine life without them. And that I think it's a quote by Winnie the Pooh that says, like, I wish I would have met you one day sooner so I could have known you longer. That's how I feel about those girls. Those three girls are my world. So hi Tana, and hi Nikki, and hi Michaela if you're watching. So Nikki should be on here. She's a little.
And if you're not on here, you're going to be in trouble.
And the good news is
You
they
in
can always go
trouble?
back and watch it. So that's
Yeah,
good.
exactly.
It'll be on
Yeah.
there. So
Exactly. So make sure you're posting where you're watching from, because we would love to see it at the end. And if you are just tuning in, if one of the queens say something that you can totally relate to, there is a professional speaker that I follow, and her name is Lisa Nichols, and she always says if there's something that the speaker is saying that resonates with you, put your hands in the air so that they know that resonates with them. And since we can't see you, I want you to put it in the comments, your hands in the air, so that we know.
That's the emoji.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, the little emoji.
I was still
Not
thinking
jazz.
Somebody want to give an example?
I thought it was us. I know we're supposed to do jazz hands.
Yes, jazz hands.
Don't comment.
That's where the decade shows.
I don't even know jazz hands.
hands.
Are you supposed to do? I do this.
It's these little guys.
Oh, it's fingers.
Yes.
See
jazz hands.
Oh,
if I can post it.
There you go. She's got it.
All right. So, Miss Christina, what is something unexpected that you
did it.
received from participating?
Well, you know, I mean, obviously they stole my answer. I mean, the friendships are so obvious, and you know, every year that I competed 4 years before I won. And every year I competed, I walked away with a special friendship. And if she's on here, one of my very best friends to this day is Megan. She was Mrs. Colorado 2009. I was able to crown her. She was my first runner-up. And then, of course, was able to crown her, which is amazing. And I mean, she was just at my house last weekend, staying the weekend with me. And, you know, 10 years later. So, you know, we obviously have a very tight friendship. She's like my little sister. I think they dubbed us as Barb and Skip. And Barb and Skipper. And she would say, well, which one's of us Barbie? I'm like, okay, I'm 10 years older. I assure you, I am not Skipper. So, and per my measurements, I'm not Skipper. So, but anyway, you know, we've always been really, really good friends, and still friends to this day. But obviously, and actually too, I was able to get really involved in the community. I was an ambassador for the American Heart Association, and I was able to speak throughout my year and be able to really, really, really go out of my way to bring attention to heart health and how important it was for heart health. And so that's something I took with me. And till this day, you know, people dub me as the Queen of Hearts, and that's such an honor that I was able to go out and, you know, really make a difference in the community.
Exactly. So let's talk about pageant weekend. So most people, I think, kind of assume that everyone shows up the night of the show and it magically just happens and everybody knows where to be and how to go. Where? It doesn't happen like that. So, Shalon, how do we kind of kick off Wednesday? How does the pageant week happen?
Well, Wednesday is orientation. That's the fun part where we all get to know each other. Everybody comes together, and we get to learn just the basics of what the weekend's going to look like. Wednesday night, in the past couple of years, we've had a theme night. Last year we did Derby, which was so fun to see everybody's creativity come out, and we got dressed up in our beautiful hats, and we had a beautiful dinner.
Yeah.
And we got to learn about what the weekend was going to look like. And what's so cool, another unexpected blessing, is for some reason I always lose weight. Pageant weekend.
Oh, that?
You're just running.
Because I'm just like,
You're
my
so crazy.
adrenaline, I'm so excited for everybody.
Right.
There's just excitement that you can feel. And so I think that excitement takes me all the way to Saturday, and I lose about 5 pounds.
Ah,
So if we could host a couple more pageants every year,
that'd
that would be awesome.
that'd be great. I'd be in great swimsuit
So
shape
that's
for the
Wednesday.
summer. Yeah.
Perfect. So we'll stop right there. Okay, so what kind of theme dinner party should we do for orientation this year? Put them in the comments. We may use them, we may not. Because I already know what it is. So we'll see you. Just kidding.
We're just
Just
having fun and
kidding.
having you
Kidding.
chime in, but we're really not going to listen to you. It's fun to
Just
chime
kidding.
in.
Just kidding. I haven't thought about it.
See how fun we are? Who doesn't want to be part of the sisterhood?
You won't listen to me because it will be sports themed if you ask me. So she doesn't ask
Oh,
mine.
That could be fun.
That could be fun. Like
It would
sports
be
theme.
She's becoming a sports
Yes.
mama. She is a sports
I
mama
could.
now. She's the
Well,
one
see,
over.
I'm not. Would that be a
Or-
problem? Would I be allowed? Because I'm from St. Louis and I will wear my Blues jersey.
I am actually a big fan of the Blues.
Oh, you are?
I am.
Okay, then we're good. We're good. Okay.
So it's all good. I'm actually a fan
We're
of the
good.
Blues.
I
No,
thought maybe I was going to get chucked off the couch.
Not
here.
at all.
No.
Not at all. And one of our really good friends plays for the Cardinals. So I love St. Louis.
Definitely a bigger Cardinals fan than I am a Blues fan. So, but yes, being from St. Louis, you got to be a Cardinals
I
fan.
love all sports.
So
I
can
don't
give or take.
discriminate against the
Yeah.
sports
Oh,
teams.
good. Good to know.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
so
now
Tori
we're
likes sports theme.
Oh, perfect.
Oh, Tori.
All right, so let's go to Thursday. And Val, do you want to explain what happens on Thursday?
So Thursday is one of the greatest days. You get to go in and you get to really showcase yourself to the judges. It's Thursday morning is your personal interview. So you get 4 minutes? 3 or 4 minutes?
3.5 of
Okay.
the judges asking you questions and 30 seconds of an intro to the judges. So you have 30 seconds to tell the judges anything you want. And then the questions from the judges come from the bio. So it's not political, moral, ethical, we're going to save the world. Even though world peace might happen, it's not going to happen in that room. And so the questions are about you and the season of life that you're in. So let me put your mind at ease. It's not political. It's not those types of questions. They want to get to know you.
Yeah, they really do. And that's the fun part about interview. I remember my first year, I was so nervous because I had never done a pageant before. I did not know what to expect. And I remember standing there outside of the room, and I was number 17 my first year. And so number 16 went in, and I was about to walk in the door, and I was standing outside with Emily's mom, and she was calming me, and she was so wonderful, and she's like, it's okay, in her teacher voice, you've got this, you've got this, and had no idea what to expect, and somebody walked out, and they were like, the judges need a break. So I had to stand out there for like 15 minutes.
That's the worst.
And
Put you
just
on
like,
ice.
they
They
put
iced
me
you.
on ice, and I was so like, oh my gosh, like there are, okay, all right, they grab a Pepsi, do what you need to do, and I went in, and they were asking me all these questions about myself, and pretty easy to, to answer, because like you said, nothing political, nothing with an agenda, just, asking you some basic, questions about yourself, and the fact that you get to sit there and elaborate on stuff that's important to you, was pretty wonderful. It's not very often that you get to sit down and have a true conversation these days with people. And so that was it was wonderful. And I always remember there was one judge who I remember very vividly, that it went around the table and they all asked me a question, and I answered a question from every judge. And then it went, I was very proud of that, because that's what I heard you were supposed to do. So I did what I was supposed to do. And it went back to him, and he asked me another question, and they called time. And his face, he just kind of went, oh.
Like he really
He wanted to
hear.
know more about me. And
That's
that just
great.
kind of gave me this like confidence that I was just like, okay, like I do have something positive to say. And I am, it was kind of my first affirmation of that I am an individual. I'm not, I'm not just a wife, and I'm not just a mother, and I have thoughts of my own,
Right.
and that was really, really cool. So that's Thursday morning is your personal interview, and then you get to go have lunch, and then we have rehearsals for the remainder of the day, for the remainder of the afternoon. You get ready, and then we have our big preliminary pageant, which is a really, really big deal. So a lot of people don't take into consideration that the preliminary pageant is where you are being scored. The majority of your score is coming from preliminary pageant. So it's a fun day. It's a really fun day to showcase yourself. I mean, finals night is amazing, but Thursday is really special. Thursday is
It's an important day.
it's an important day.
So if you were to look at the scoring of this, 50% of your score happens in the morning in interview, and then 50% of your score happens that night in preliminary competition. 25% is swimsuit, and 25% is evening gown. So 100% of your score is done on Thursday. And so it's a key day, and I don't know how many times we reiterate it. 50% happens in the morning, 50% happens that night. We just will not know the results of that day until Saturday night.
When they call the top 15.
Exactly. And I was gonna tangent on you. Oh, gosh, that's what happens when you get older.
How do people
Or
sign
that's
up?
what happens when your daughter
Oh,
walks out the door to go to the bathroom.
So quick, how do
Michelle
people
Lopez
sign
is
up?
asking that.
Thanks, Michelle, for the question. How do ladies sign up? If you want to email me or call me. If you email me, it's hello@mrscoloradoamerica.com, and I will email you the informational letter and the application. And so you're applying for a local title like Mrs. Parker, Mrs. Capital City, Mrs. Colorado Springs, Mrs. Aurora. And so you're applying for that title. You fill out the application. It comes into the pageant office, and then the local titles are based off of that application. Once you are awarded a local title, that qualifies you to compete in Mrs. Colorado or Wyoming in March. So it's super simple, but call me, because the last thing I want you to do is not have all the information that you need. So do that. But email me. I'm a great emailer, but I am only in the office Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays. I work for a law firm, and I have forever and a day, so I don't call people Tuesday, Thursday. So if you want to chat with me, I am 100% there Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So Christina is going to tell us about Friday of pageant weekend.
Well, Friday was actually one of my favorite days. Yeah, so Friday obviously is rehearsals. They're rehearsing for the big show. It's so awesome. Me being a thespian, I grew up a theater brat, and I went to college for theater. And for me, I was so excited. Me? An actress? Jasmine? No, we don't do Jasmine. We make tears. That's what actresses do.
I'm so shocked by
But
all
with
of
that said, I was very excited to be able to step on the stage and be on the stage at the Ellie Calkins. That was huge for me. And so Friday was so exciting because you show up and the ballroom is kind of cleared out and the tape's down on the floor and you're there to rehearse the big show. And I was just beside myself, so excited to be able to go, oh my gosh, this is it. I'm going to be on the stage at the Ellie Calkins. And so obviously that's tons of fun, and you kind of get a feel for how the show's going to go. And then the luncheon is amazing. I mean, obviously there's a break in between Friday's rehearsal and we go to the luncheon. There's always usually a speaker, somebody who's really kind of, just kind of putting things into perspective about why we're there, and empowerment and motivating in some way, which is always nice. And then you get to sit and really chat with the women. The competition is kind of behind you at that point until the next day. I mean, you've already competed the night before, so the jitters are out. You're a little bit more relaxed, and so you're able to really enjoy the luncheon and get to know the girls better. And so, yeah, for me, Friday was actually one of my favorites. And then, of course, you head back to rehearsals, and by the time you leave Friday, you go, oh my gosh, by the time I show up at the Ellie Calkins, what we just did is going to come to life. It's just, for me, Friday was tons of fun. I think
that's the biggest day that feels like a retreat.
For sure.
Yes.
It's just really about, getting to know each other and getting to put your
I was
hair down
always in
and...
trouble. Because I was always talking. I was always, Christina, because I was always having so much fun. And then of course, I'm always making people laugh because, again, I'm the thespian. And so, I was always in trouble, but still the funnest day for me. Not really in trouble. I was just always, Christina, zip it.
Because it slows the progression of the day. We do need to be done by Friday.
And Emily usually can't talk by Friday. Your voice is
because you're done.
Typically,
Yes, it's gone. And one cool thing about the theater that we have chosen to host our pageant in, we have been at the Denver Performing Arts Complex since 1999. We are in one of the most prestigious theater complexes in the United States, and actually there's only 3 opera houses in the United States, just 3. There's 9 internationally. And we get to showcase the married women of Colorado and Wyoming on that stage. It's the same stage that the opera's on, the Colorado Ballet. It's just incredible. Oh, Hamilton. I'm like, that was just there. They were right before us, actually, last year. They were the production that happened right before the Mrs. Colorado pageant last year. So it's really a nice way to showcase the women, that we're putting you on one of the most incredible stages, and your family and friends all can gather, cheer, scream, and see all your hard work. And it's an opportunity for you to really showcase who you are at this season in your life.
And that stage is so welcoming. When you're on it, you just feel... You feel at home.
You can't see the audience.
You can't see. You can't
see. People don't realize
anybody. I could
jitters.
see my grandmother's glasses.
That's it.
I could see the light shining off my grandmother's glasses.
That's great.
But you feel so at home on the stage, and it's just so exciting to be on it.
And you're part of the experience, whether you make top 15 or whether you walk away in top 5 or a winner. You're on that stage experiencing it with the women. And for me, you know, the years before I won, it was cool to be able to stand up there and experience it. I'd be standing there going, oh gosh, who is it going to be? You know, and you find yourself kind of enthralled in their moment. And for me, I was first runner-up 2 years in a row. And before winning, I know. So by the time I won, I was like, I'm diving into the audience if this finishes the way I'm thinking. but with that said, the two, I know, right? But the 2 years I was first runner-up, I would always say, you know, I think you'd say, you're the most gracious first runner-up. And it was because for me, I got to experience their win. With them, and so I was the one who got to really be in the moment with them. And the first year I was first runner-up was to Marnie. Marnie Duckworth went on to become Mrs. America, and so be able to know that moment, right, and to know that moment where it all started for her, I got to share that moment with her. So no matter how you finish, you get to experience it all with the women, which is really cool.
Exactly. And so let me put your mind at ease. Even though some of us like to perform on a theater stage, I do not make you sing. I do not make you dance. We hire professionals. And so one year we had the Cleo Parker Robinson Dance Ensemble. We've had Starstruck Dance Academy. Wonderful
ballroom dancers, a drum line.
We've had all kinds of wonderful things. But so that just one last thing for all you non-dancers out there, I don't make you sing and dance. So we hire professionals to do the magic. We walk in briskly on stage and we go from there. And so Saturday is super fun in that we take what we learned on Friday and we put it on this incredible stage and venue. We do rehearsals throughout the day and then we get ready, and then at 6 o'clock it's showtime. And then we just roll through, and at 8:45, someone's crowned. No.
That's so awesome. So I just get chills.
I know.
I mean, just that day itself on Saturday is such a really, really cool experience. And I remember being backstage every year I competed, and the lights would go down, and the music would start, and I was like,
the national anthem.
I mean, it was just always like such a, you know, adrenaline rush. And and I used to say, I think I was asked in my interview the 4th time I competed, which was the year I won. One of the judges says, well, what keeps you coming back? I'm like, besides the fact that I'm determined to. But it was truly, I said to them, I said, it's the adrenaline rush. I mean, it's just such an amazing rush to get out there on that stage and to be part of it and to represent who you are and just feel so empowered. So,
and there's nothing like it that prepares you. Like, nothing like it. I wish we could do it again. I mean, I wouldn't want to do it again.
Oh, they're saying that we can do Mrs. World now. I saw that, and I'm like, oh, gosh.
Ready?
I'm like,
There's nothing that gets you.
Okay, you're 1 year out. Did I mention I'm a decade?
Get out your tippy tops. Let's go, girl.
Holy moly.
Let's go.
So are there any other questions that we should...
somebody asked, are there any scholarship opportunities?
You know, and so we don't do scholarship opportunities. And so what we encourage ladies to do is get sponsors. Our current queen, Lauren Campbell, actually paid zero out of pocket. Absolutely zero out of her family budget. And how she did that is through sponsorship. And so there is an opportunity where you can list in the program book businesses that have supported you. You can list 15 businesses there. You can also list them as a feature page in the back of the program book. And so there's a lot of opportunities to get sponsorship and have different businesses use it as an advertising expense for them. If their accountant and taxes say that it works for them.
Not even the pages. I have to. The appearances. That was really big for raising sponsors. You know, I had a jewelry store sponsor me one year, and they had a big event, and I showed up in my local crown and banner, and I was there taking pictures, and they loved it. They loved that. So those people that sponsor you, show up and be part of their big events, and it brings in crowds, and that's your way of thanking them. And you'd be surprised. People love a queen. So,
And so that's how we do it. And we have a handful of resources on the website. There's a part that says Contestant Hub. And so once you are actually in the pageant and have a local title, you have access to that part of the website. And there is everything in there from letters that you could leave with potential sponsors to tax receipts to a planning booklet to everything you can think of, even a packing list. We've kind of thought of everything to help you. Because majority of the women that compete have never done a pageant in their life. They're just like every other woman doing life, whether she is working, whether she's a mom, whether she's trying to juggle all of it on top of just trying to find herself. They're normal women, and so we know majority of you that sign up have never done a pageant, and that's what my job is to help you through the journey to get to pageant weekend.
And talking to Emily is, it's just invaluable. You put everybody at ease. So if you have any questions, reach out to Emily, because she can put any of your doubts aside and really help you see this as the full picture of what this is about.
Exactly. And I love my job. Let's just be honest. I absolutely love my job, and I cannot express how much I love being part of the journey and the transformations. That's huge for me. So I love being part of it.
So are you a 501c3?
No, you are not one either. So when you are a title, when you represent a community like Mrs. Parker or Mrs. Cherry Creek, they are sponsoring you, the person. So it's an advertising expense. It is not a donation. You're not a charity, and neither am I. We do a lot of charity work, but that's not what we are.
And how many women for both states are competing this year?
Oh, everybody loves that question, and that is one, I don't know.
It's hard to say. There's girls that sign up until the very last day. It's
Exactly.
so hard to say.
And the bottom line is my assistant takes care of the numbers. I just do the people part. And so that part, I don't know. We'll know on March 27th, because everybody shows up then.
You can tell them that they'll meet lots of friends.
Yeah.
How's that? You'll meet lots of friends for sure.
It
Women
ranges.
from all over the
it
state.
definitely ranges. And I guess that's the good way to put it is Colorado, I think, had 38 last year. We've had all the way up to 65. Wyoming, I think we had 6 or 7 last year. So.
Well, you just took over Wyoming. That's still, growing. And I'm so excited to see what you do with that program, obviously, with Colorado being, I think, one of the most successful, largest franchises in the Mrs. America organization. So I'm excited to see Wyoming kind of make their mark on the map as well.
My first year, there was 59 women who competed, and didn't know that, going in. Had never done a pageant before. So I walked in on Wednesday when our orientation get together was a scavenger hunt, which I am so competitive, so that was my deal. Like,
You're one of those.
She's the thespian. I'm like, we're running. Let's go. Like,
we did an amazing
You would
race.
have been my teammate. I would have been like, you do the running, I'll wait for you over here.
you would have had the wine ready. You would have had the wine ready for me when I got back. That's what friends are for.
That's what friends are for. Teammates.
Teammates. So that was my first year, and I remember walking in, and I did not know a single person. I did not know one woman. I was doing this for myself. And I just walked in with 58 other women and was like, here we go. Okay. And I walked away with 58 new friends. Yeah. So some people might get intimidated by the larger numbers. Colorado is very successful where we have so many women who do compete for Mrs. Colorado, which is really cool, because then when you go to Mrs. America, people are saying, you competed against more women that are here.
Oh, yes. I definitely have heard more times than not that Colorado is kind of more of an accomplishment sometimes than winning Mrs. America itself. And even being part of the program, whether you walk away with the crown or not, I think is even more of an accomplishment, some people say, than even going to Mrs. America. So, and, Mrs. America is such a wonderful organization. Of course, not taking any credit away from them, but as far as the Colorado people are concerned, it's even more of a privilege to walk across the Colorado stage, I think.
It is. It's a really cool program to be a part of. And with the numbers, don't be intimidated by numbers. So whether there's 59 women or there's 65 women or there's 30 women, it's all about making those friendships and making those connections with people. So you on one hand you could go, oh my gosh, I have 59 competitors, and on the other hand you can go, I've got 59 new friends.
Right.
So so don't be intimidated by the numbers part of it.
Especially since we don't know.
Yeah.
Right.
We don't know the number.
And if you're worried about the numbers, you're going to hear my saying, you're not swimming in your own lane. When Michael Phelps dives into the pool, he's not worried about what Germany's doing. He's not worried about what China's doing. He's worried about what he's doing.
Well, and
you
the
swim in
judges-
your own lane.
The judges are judging you alone.
Yeah, they're
When,
not.
when you're in
not-
front of the
don't worry about
judge,
that.
it's just you alone. So it doesn't matter what the
All
other
right.
58 are doing.
What else do we have?
Nikki Goss says, "Love you, Valerie."
Oh, that's my Mrs. Virginia. Love you.
Aw.
She, of course, she's on.
Oh, she loves me. She's
She
not
does.
talking to Val.
Does anybody have any questions that
All
you want to know?
right.
Sarah Herring is watching. Hi, Sarah.
Hi, Sarah.
All right, guys. So let's see. If you want to comment at the bottom, we would love any comments or different things.
You can
If there's
that.
if there's
Yeah.
a piece of it, if there's a piece
Remember,
of today
I'm
that
only 1 year
resonated
out.
with you, feel free to
Okay.
write that in the comments because we want to know
I just see a square.
what worked with you. We're super
Sorry.
excited. We just encourage you to explore it. Figure out if this is a good avenue for you to make new friends, to have personal growth, to get back into shape. That's what I personally used it for. It was motivation if I was going to get
I
in
think
a
someone
swimsuit.
asked, they were asking the cost. What's the cost to
See, you
compete?
can read that. I couldn't
Oh,
read
I joke,
that.
I joke, I joke.
know.
So some of us have to wear glasses to see that. So the cost to compete, the entry fee is $750. We do $150 with the application and then $100 at the top of each month. So you can do that $100 per month in sponsorship. You can do it $100 out of your family budget. You get to figure out how that works for you. It includes your swimsuit sarong, opening number, rehearsal t-shirt for Friday, your husband tickets, and a handful of
Oh,
other
that's
things.
nice. It's all included now.
Yeah.
It
Oh,
is.
that's nice.
It's one
takes
package
a lot of
deal. So
guesswork,
$750
for sure.
takes 50% of your wardrobe is done. You look for the interview, you look for the evening gown, that's it. So I've wiped out half the shopping, you get to do the fun part.
Trunk show.
We have a few things coming up. We have a trunk show with Black Swan Boutique.
My
from-
favorite person in the world.
Hi,
One
Joe.
of them.
Yep.
If he's on there,
Joe's
Joe.
coming out from Nebraska, and he is bringing a handful of collections from different designers. So he contacts them directly, brings beautiful pieces to us. That is November 17 and 18. And what's super exciting this year is Megan Anderson with Graphique Fine Art Photography, who has been our official photographer for a very long time, is doing headshot specials.
Best in the business. Absolutely best in the business.
You
hands
could
down.
not. You want to look and feel beautiful, go visit Megan. You could not recommend a better person. So
Love you,
those
Megan, if
are
you're
happening
watching.
on the 17th of 18th of November. It is by appointment only for both of them. So I think Joe has a deal. If you sign up before October 1st, I think you get something from him. So contact him ASAP and get your time slot for November.
And where's the location of that?
It is in Parker. It's at the Holiday Inn in Parker. But you need to be on the appointment schedule, and Joe will give you all those details, or you need to be on Megan's calendar. So they'll give you those details.
Is all that information on the Facebook page that you just mentioned about the trunk show?
It is.
If so, they can reference.
It
So,
is.
Yeah. So
Yep. So
definitely.
there's a
stay
flyer.
on this page, and it looks like it's all on there.
Exactly. And then the other the other in-town resource is the Bridal Collection in Highlands Ranch. Mention that you're doing the Mrs. Colorado or Mrs. Wyoming pageant, and they give you a 10% discount, and go see Jessie. And so she is getting 700 dresses in the next month.
Sweet.
So there is
I'm gonna
a
go see
handful of
Jessie.
resources. So that's the beautiful piece is most people are new to pageantry, are new to this entire world. We have resources, we have people, we have ways that we can help you prepare. So that's super exciting. You are not going to be in the swimming pool by yourself. We go along in the path with you.
So Amanda asked a question. If I can address that. You can address that. I'd love to jump on that. Amanda, she asked. She was diagnosed, and I know I'm going to botch this. Do you know how to pronounce that? Sjögren syndrome, which is it affects her speech. And she's asking if her word stumbling will be a problem in interview. My advice to you is, and as a director myself, I had a young girl who actually had a speech impairment as well, and she was mute until the age of 4. And so her mother, I was working with her mother, and I said, so we're going to be doing the speech competition at internationals. And her mother looked at me and said, "Are you kidding me?" I said, "Because we're going to go for it. We're going in and we're going to talk about it and we're going to share our story."
Yes.
So my advice to you would be, oh my gosh, what a great opportunity to speak for this. Speak for this. Be a voice for the people who also have the same problem. Get in there and interview and address it. This is why I'm here. I'm stepping outside of my comfort zone, and I'm here and I'm representing all of the people that also have the same issue. So, oh my gosh, if anything, I think what a great opportunity to be able to go in and just represent the community that deal with the same thing and be able to just conquer a fear. And oh my gosh, what a mountain that would be to climb.
I think that's a really neat opportunity with this is they say the crown is a microphone and you get to choose what you want to spend your year as a local title holder and as the queen advocating for. We have what we call potluck queens, which are the queens that don't have one particular cause, that they go to a handful of different things. We call them our potluck queens. But we have other queens like Christina that we made strides in the healthy heart kind of world. Being an American Heart Association of ambassador, she went to the mountains and raised millions of dollars for a cardiac wing up in the hospital up there. They sometimes have a passion and a vision in an area, and that's the beautiful piece is it changes every single year. You get to choose.
Was there was a Miss America, a deaf Miss America one year, correct?
Yes.
And I'm off on my year, but what a huge accomplishment. And she was deaf, and of course there's a translator there during the pageant, and she signed, and she couldn't even hear the music during the performance. And after she won, she says, what an accomplishment this has been. And to be able to be, I mean, I'm kind of jealous. Like I want to, what a great opportunity to be. I want to get back and compete again and, be able to overcome something so wonderful. So yeah, I say dive in. Oh my gosh.
And
yes.
Nikki Goss, if you're watching, tell us which year, because you know.
Yep.
My Mrs.
And here's
Virginia,
the
she
thing
was
is,
everything passionate.
Oh, there you go. What year?
sometimes people have a very particular cause and sometimes they don't. Like for myself, I just needed to save myself, not my community yet. And so you don't have to have a platform, you don't have to have a cause. And that's the beautiful part about the Mrs. America system is
It can be about you.
it can.
okay.
It can be about your own personal growth. It can be about overcoming something personally. Or it can be about an organization or something that you're very passionate about. That's the beautiful piece. All right.
My stomach's growling.
All right.
Time for dinner.
That was
Her
my
stomach-
tummy. My stomach's growling.
Well, awesome. Well,
I'm
thank
hungry.
you so much for joining us. Again, hello at mrscoloradoamerica.com or hello at mrswyomingamerica.com. That's my email address. You can track me down. Call me. 303-593-1199. Talk to you soon. Have a blessed evening and gosh, a blessed October. Can you
Oh my
believe it?
gosh, it's
Happy
fall.
fall, y'all.
Happy
Yes.
pumpkin spice.
And everything nice.
Exactly. Thanks for joining
Thanks for
us.
watching.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.